What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Real Deal Sports. Usual guys are here. No, matter of fact, it's not usual. We got Brother Vaughn filling in for Brother Walt for this show. So, gentlemen, let's just talk about it, man. The argument heard around the world between Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. For those that have not seen it, Skip and Shannon were having a discussion about Tom Brady, and things got pretty heated. Um, I personally felt like some of the jabs Skip was taking. You're upset because he's playing at 45 and you retired at 35, and it's like I can see if they were playing the same position, but
yeah,
one was a receiver, the other one was the quarterback. And then when he went with the he's a better player than you. It's like, bruh, most quarterbacks are better than most tight ends.
Nah,
You got the ball.
I disagree with
All
that.
right. Name me one. Name me one Hall of Fame quarterback that ain't better than the tight end.
That's not even. There's no fair assessment there. I cannot.
My point exactly.
No, but I'm saying I can't compare those two positions. Tom Brady was
exactly
the worst tight end in NFL history. So, like, how do you compare those positions at all? So I don't
exactly.
Right. I think a tight end with 3 Super Bowls is arguably just as good as a quarterback with 5.
And then you gotta think he was in his day he was a George Kittle, Travis Kelce, who else? Mark Andrews.
I mean, Darren Waller. I think
he was big time.
Yeah.
And they were a productive team. But
Kelsey's like a Gronk. They're just big boys who can cross the middle. But I mean, Shannon, Waller, Kelce, or Kittle, like those are receivers at tight end.
Yes, pretty much. And it was just one of them things. It's like, from a media perspective, you like it because it's bringing more views. But I think it is a line you got to draw, and I think Skip he goes over that line a lot, and especially when it comes to Tom Brady. And then with the situation with, outside with Tom over anybody, and it's like, bruh, y'all don't even know each other.
Yeah, that was weird.
I can see if y'all had like a close media, like y'all was friends, like Stephen A. and Michael Irvin, like you actually knew the guy. You ain't never interviewed him. You ain't never had a sit down conversation. Like, what? Why are you so loyal to this person? Like he can do no wrong in your eyes. If he cursed a 5-year-old out, you're gonna be like, why was the 5-year-old even there? Like, what, bruh? Seriously? And that's really just what it feels like. Vaughn, you say you did see it. What was your take on it?
Yeah, I absolutely think Skip went too far. And that's the kind of thing that happens when you're losing an argument, or in this case, a debate, okay? You tend to take jabs that don't need to be taken. I was completely off topic. And like we said, they played 2 different positions in 2 different eras.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, Tom was there towards the end of Shannon's career, the beginning of Tom's career, but it's a completely different game now. Shannon being in a position where you're getting banged on every play. Either you blocking, or you're gonna be catching the ball, you're gonna be getting hit in an era where Tom Brady is being babysat by the refs. Now granted, he's great. So yeah, if you ask me, a 35-year-old tight end, that's a extremely, extremely successful career. When you making it to your 30s, period, in the NFL it's not common.
Right. Yeah.
When you think about the amount of guys who make it to the league, how many guys are forced to retire at 25, 28? You know
Mm.
what I mean? So being 35 at that position and doing it at the level that he did it, 3-time champion, Hall of Fame career, 6 Pro Bowls, I want to say. Come on. I mean, Skip taking that jab, it was a weak jab. It was a weak jab. Shannon Sharpe is one of the greatest tight ends ever. And comparing those to his career with Tom's and those two positions, it was a low blow. It was uncalled for. He went too far. And I understand why Shannon was clearly hurt by it. You can see it, you could hear it in his voice and his tone. Like I say, he took his glasses off and had to say, hey, so you gonna take a shot at me to defend him? To your point, Nico, somebody who you don't even know. They have a work relationship. We understand that. We don't know what their relationship is outside of the studio,
You know, but
but I
to
would
that,
like to believe. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say to that point though. I think Shannon he treats it like a friends that
Friendship.
work together
Yeah.
relationship, and Skip always keeps it business.
Mm-hmm.
I feel, I think that would be the differences. It's like, all right, it's just business. I do these things with you because it helps the business. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all. And I think he did the same with Stephen A. That's why it was so easy for him to move to Fox.
Yeah.
Because he kept it business. He kept it business.
Yeah. I agree with that 100%. 100%. And I like Skip. I like Skip, but he does this sort of thing every now and again. He used back on First Take,
Mm.
or even earlier days. What were they called? Cold
Pizza.
I was gonna say cold turkey, but yeah, cold pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Skip would do this sort of thing, and I like Skip. Don't get me wrong, but this one, with this whole, I don't know what to say, man.
Yeah.
It's Skip's show. You can tell by the topics. Talking about the Cowboys all the time. He picks the topics. They talk about the Lakers because Lakers, but he talks.
No, they talk about the Lakers because he can bash LeBron. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Right, but that's the thing. He talks about the same things all the time. He talks about the things he likes and the things he hates. So he hates Westbrook, so Westbrook is going to be there all the time. He hates, Durant. They're going to talk about Durant all the time. He loves Baker Mayfield. He loves Brady. He loves Michael Jordan. They're going to talk about these things all the time. He loves talking about the things he loves and the things he hates, right? Anything in the middle, you would think it never happened with Skip Bayless. You would just think that the Sacramento Kings didn't exist, right? You would so it's his show. He picks the topics. But here's the thing. In a relationship, there are relationships that work even after the couple cheats, but that's always there in the back of one of them's mind. You know what I mean? If you're not the one who cheated, like it's always in the back of your mind that the other one cheated. Even though you forgive them, we ain't Jesus, right? We can forgive, but we don't forget. We ain't stupid. Like we don't just forget, so this seems like one of those moments that's always going to be there. I think the show will keep going. The show will be fine, entertaining to some extent. But this is always going to be there because of one reason. Skip Bayless is not humble enough to admit he messed up, right? So,
of course not.
So Shaq and Chuck came out and did a little bit. It's getting attention, right?
Heard about that.
And the thing is, Skip loves attention. And because of that, he's going to be like, even if he feels bad about it, he won't ever admit it. Because that's why it's hard to work with people who are like, I'll admit when I'm wrong, but I'm never wrong, right? It's that kind of mentality. And it's like they will never take back anything they say. And I stand by everything I said, everything I say. But if I say something crazy, I'll be like, maybe I shouldn't have said that, whatever. This guy won't. He won't do that. And so, like with Skip, man, he went way too far. And I think the first time ever that I saw in his eyes is when Shannon took his glasses off. Because that moment where he said, man, put your glasses back on. Because you could see like he was like, when Shannon took his glass off, he knew he messed up. And by like taking back that authority real quick, like telling him, put your glasses back on. It was like him like, I don't want, it's like when someone sees someone crying in the corner You're like, oh, I'm gonna go in the other room kind of moment.
Yeah.
I mean, but if you have to be in the room with them, you're like, hey, what's stop crying, what's wrong? You know what I mean? Because it makes you feel awkward that they're in this moment. I think he felt awkward by that when Shannon ripped them glass off and was like, "Are you kidding me?" Now, I actually agree with Kevin Durant on this. Shannon Sharpe, toughen up. Because here's the thing. You won the argument. That was the whole point. And you let him off the hook by letting him make it personal. What I would have said, and I think a lot of people would have just said was, all right, fine. Let's pretend I'm trash. Okay, now back to the point. Is Brady having a bad year? Because you know what? If you give him that, like, let's just in that moment give him that. Like, all right, fine. You know what? You're saying stupid stuff. The internet will roast you. I don't need to roast you in this moment. Let him have his stupid little win because keep him on topic. Because when someone starts throwing out personal jabs like that, they lost the argument. They lost the debate. And
Trying to deflect.
Skip wins the debate on that show. He just keeps milking it until Shannon is like, okay, you're right. But if Shannon is winning debate, Skip changes the subject. And this is one of the first times I've seen him make it personal, but I'm sure he's done it before. I don't think this is the first time, but to make it this personal, I think this is the first time I've seen him do that. But like when you did that, you have him on the ropes. Don't let him off the ropes, man. Don't let him change the subject. Don't let him make it personal. I just be like, so I agree with Kevin Durant. He told Shannon Sharpe, toughen up. And I don't think that was a shot at Shannon Sharpe. We all know KD hates Skip Bayless and he loves Shannon Sharpe. I think he was saying, dude, in that moment, don't let him get to you. The internet is going to roast him forever for that. But now if you come out and be this defend yourself person, like, you don't need to defend yourself. You Shannon Sharpe, man. Everyone knows. With internet got your back. And I think Shannon let him off the ropes there. I think he should have just stuck to the point and said, okay, fine. Let's pretend I'm garbage. So how is Tom Brady having a bad year? And Skip cannot. He just can't admit it. Can't admit Brady ain't having a great year that he likes to pretend he's having.
And if you really look at that exchange though, Shannon almost hit him with the Richard Sherman because when he was like, he's better than you. Shannon. You hear him say, he's like, I'm better than you, and he stopped like
right.
mid. He like, I ain't even gonna do it.
You don't need to prove that. We already know you better.
He almost hit him with a Richard Sherman. He's like, when Richard was like, I'm better at life than you. I'm a better professional in my career than you ever will be. It was
I gotta check that out again. Did you all see the following day was the day before yesterday? So yesterday's episode, the dynamic. I saw a clip. I didn't watch the full show, but just the dynamic. Just when they showed up again the next day was a little different. It picked up a little bit, but Shannon's his vibe. I was looking for it, so that might have been what. But he wasn't as upbeat as he usually is. And again, it picked up as it got further on in that segment that I watched. Can't remember what they were speaking about, but yeah, I kind of felt the difference there.
And I think it's one of them things. It's like John said, it's like almost like a forgive but don't forget kind of thing. Like, yeah, I'll forgive you enough to, for this job to get my check, but I can't rock with you no more.
Right. I can take shots at Nico's chain, his haircut, silly things, but you cannot take a shot at someone's career and not pretend like it was just in the moment. It was like, that's something like, all right, that's how it is, and not apologize or say, right. I shouldn't have said that. Like, you know what? Misstepped, whatever. But he does not have, I think in this moment and going on is Shannon's going to realize, I think he has completely realized not before that, but this man has no humility. He does not have enough humility.
It's all business with him.
Right. And so you can never win a debate with someone with no humility.
Yep.
Because they will give you fake stats and tell you that they won. Right. It's like, what is it? Yeah. Don't get in the mud with the pigs, because that's how home to them. They love it there. Like, you ain't gonna go, so I'm not calling him pig. I'm just, that's a reference, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like,
yeah, I got you.
Or if Shannon was, really, he didn't get so worked up, he could have hit him with the Jalen Rose.
Thank you.
How many passing yards have you had as an NFL tight end? Oh, okay.
I would have just said Stephen A is a better announcer than you at that point. Like
He could have.
I would have said LeVar Ball had better stats in college than you. Like I would have hit him with everything, man.
Or hit him with one of those Dallas reporters. Yeah, I heard he was better than you anyway. Like, I think that would have been worse than Stephen A. Because it's like, ain't this you think you funny? Yeah. Well, we all got jokes. You want to be funny?
Yeah. The second, it's funny that KD tells him toughen up because this is a man who defends himself on Twitter to 12-year-olds. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't let him make it about you. Yeah. Give him that. Keep the pressure on him. And like Shannon's too nice. I think Shannon's too nice. Like, you know what I mean? Like Dwight Howard, when we saw early Dwight Howard, he's just dominating the paint. And then like he kind of eased into like he became friends with everyone in the league.
Goofy guy.
Yeah, he's a fun guy now. He's like Shaq, right? You don't play the same. Like when Shaq played early, he was fun in his interviews and stuff, but he was not friends with the other big men in the league. Like they hated him. They threw balls at him. They would kick him, punch him because he played aggressive. And like that's what I'm saying. Like Shannon is like he's too nice of a person, and that's not a bad thing. But I just think Skip is not. Skip's not that guy. And he won't let you off the ropes, and Shannon lets him off the ropes all the time because Shannon wins a lot of them debates, but you wouldn't know it because he's not a debater, and Skip
wins about 80% of them debates.
Yeah, definitely.
Like a lot of times,
no, being right does not mean you won, though. That's my point. Is Skip's a debater, and he will win the debate even though he's completely wrong, and that's what's like annoying about a lot of those.
Well, yeah, but I don't think like. If we talk about the Cardinals, right? You can't argue me to where it's like, all right, you won the debate, but it's like the Cardinals still were not good this year. So yeah, you might have overtalked me, but it still don't take away from me saying they didn't win. Mm-hmm. They didn't win.
We know how
that's the bottom line. They did not win.
I mean, there's tons of videos on the internet of Skip Bayless being wrong all the time. But those get overshadowed by his aggressiveness during debates and stuff. And like, you know,
the loudest person is always right. If you can talk the loudest, you won't argue.
But then, though,
it's why we see Jake Paul fighting people he should never have the right to fight. That's why we see Conor McGregor getting into fights that he should never have been involved in. That's why we see a lot. We can go on and on, but I'm just saying people can talk themselves into a situation. Skip has talked himself into one of the biggest jobs in the world. So, you know, kudos to him. I'm not taking that away.
Yeah. Hey, Shannon, just take the Jalen Rose route next time. Hey, how many are you in the Hall of Fame? All right. Okay. Me and Tom might be, but you ain't got, you know, like, let's be honest, bro. What have you done?
Yeah, man. Shannon Sharpe is a walking, talking success story. I don't know if you guys are too familiar with his humble beginnings. He and his brother.
He from here. He born in Chicago, but raised in Georgia.
Yeah. I'm talking about a shack, one of them places that my grandparents type grew up in. You know, very, very humble guy.
And he only like his early 40s. I mean,
and he looked like he could still get out there. He can get out there on third down now.
Well, I don't know about all that, Brian.
Just third down.
One shoulder pad to the knee, it'll be all
30 short. 30
short. But everyone's knees, come on, one shoulder pad away. So I ain't.
Yeah, but his is different. He ain't did it in a while. That'll hurt him a lot longer than it would George Kittle or somebody.
Well, if he was playing by Brady rules, I'll say he could still play right now.
Oh, of course.
Oh, sorry, the Justin Herbert rules now. I guess they're now the Justin
Herbert.
I said he looked like he can go out there. I say he could.
Okay.
He looked like
it. Gotcha. But you know, it was just one of them things, man. It's like, you know, you can go too far with debating, and that was prime example.
Yeah.
But as we switch gears, fellas, NFL power rankings. John, we're gonna start with you, man. Who?
I just want, pretty much the wild cards. I want to talk about that wild card spots. So we know the Bills, we know the Chiefs, we believe the Ravens and Bengals are in.
You think the Bills will be in? Oh well, it is what 6 wild card teams now?
Really, there's really only 2 spots.
It's weird. I'm not used to it.
It's only the number one overall seed is the only one that gets a bye now.
Yeah, so there's only really 2 spots up for grabs in the AFC. I would say maybe Miami's spot is up for grab, but really I think just the Patriots and Titans spot. Can the Chargers, Jets, Jags, long shot Raiders take one of those spots? I'm going to say Jags, Raiders are out right now. I really think that the Chargers we will see them in the playoffs. I don't know how, I don't know why, but their schedule looks so nice compared to New England's. I think New England is a better coach team currently, but that Chargers schedule looks nice compared to New England's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
I think the Titans will make it just based off winning their division. I think
they have a 2-game lead, but I think they play the Chargers this week, and the Jags play the Cowboys. So I mean, it could be a swing there, but I mean, it's still Jags got to win 2. It's going to be tough. I like Titans hold.
I think it. Shoot, honestly, I would say if the AFC East with the Bills and all of them. I think if those 4 teams have winning records, I don't see why you don't put those 4 teams in the playoff. Yeah, you might have, maybe, 2 games where the teams have played each other 3 times. But I mean, if you're going with the best teams, same thing with the NFC East.
Yeah,
with the
wild.
Cowboys and all of them. If all 4 of those teams have winning records, outside of whoever wins their division, they should play. If Dallas got to play the Giants or the Commanders again, so be it.
So does anyone currently in right now not make it? And does anyone not in right now, do you think they make it? Because remember, the Chargers play the Colts, the Rams, and the Broncos down the stretch.
Yeah, that's what I
think the Chargers are the most dangerous team.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you're getting healthy at the right time. You saw, how the offense looked a little bit last week. If they can be consistent, they should be okay.
The Patriots play the Raiders, which can score, the Bengals, the Dolphins, and the Bills. That's a gauntlet. I
think Bengals, Dolphins, and Bills. I think they lose 2 of the last 4.
Right. And so if the Chargers win 3, which I think they can, I think they should.
But like I say, I think the Chargers are a dangerous team. I think I can see the Chargers probably playing, if everything goes right for Buffalo and they can have home field advantage. I can see the Chargers and Kansas City one more time.
I'll say this, that Dolphins-Patriots game could be huge, because if the Patriots win one, let's say they beat, and then the Dolphins lose, because they got to play the Bills and the Packers. If they lose 2 and come in 8-7, 8-6, whatever that is, and the Patriots play the Dolphins for that week 17 game, Dolphins could actually get replaced by the Patriots. I think they have I think the Dolphins.
Yeah, they need that thing.
Yeah, I think the Chargers are in. I think they're in, and I think we'll see either the Patriots or the Dolphins fall out. That's where I'm going right now.
And I think too, though, with the Dolphins, the Chargers kind of showed how you can beat them in a way. I guess because Tua, he didn't look good. He didn't look good on Sunday night. I expected that game to be better than what it was. And, Tua just couldn't get it done.
No, not even. It was a terrible start. It kind of finished a little stronger, but it was a terrible start.
And like I said earlier, off those 2 freak plays, if you don't score on those, you get shut out. Waddle, he couldn't do much.
Brought up there.
Waddle couldn't do nothing. It was.
So you're saying it was like a Michigan-Ohio State game where there's just like a 69-yarder, a 75-yarder, an 85-yarder.
Chill out. Relax.
Them freak plays, huh?
Yeah, that hurt me. That hurt me too.
So who you got, Vaughn? Any of these teams you think are in? Any teams you think are out? I'm saying right now, if you're a Chargers fan, celebrate already. I'm calling them in. If you're a Chargers fan,
I agree with what you're saying here, just off the strength of the strength of their schedule down the stretch. They can take down the Titans this week. They're second in the AFC West right now. If I had to put my money on it, I would put the Chargers in there. And like I said, just off the strength of their schedule down the stretch, they may only lose one of these games. Like right. I'm looking at it. That'll be the one I pick. I'm definitely taking the Chargers. Patriots, they got the Raiders. They should definitely win that one. We'll see. But down the stretch, the Chargers are looking like they can be that sneaky team this year. We shall see.
So in that case, then who you got? Dolphins or Patriots that stay alive? I don't know, man. I like the Dolphins, but I kind of trust the Patriots to get it done. And I know Nico had them early in the year. Like he said they were one of the favorites to come back, and they have so far.
Yeah.
But, again, they win one. If they go 1-1, Dolphins go 0-2, and that could easily happen because they got a tough schedule. That Week 17 matchup could end it for the Dolphins. Like, it could be a huge game changer.
And then you got to think, too. You don't know what's really going on with Tariq and that high ankle sprain or what have you. So
I partially wonder if he's only playing next week because he wants that yardage record. Because I know he wants that 2,000 yard that he's on track for, but it's not
Mike
working.
McDaniels, I'm telling him to at least sit a game. It's just gonna have to be,
Yeah, they did not use Jalen Waddle at all last week. I was really
shocked.
He was dropping passes.
That and they had both of them double covered a lot of them.
Yeah.
The one time they didn't is when Tariq caught that touchdown. But other than that,
good defense, man. I love good defense like that. When you can take two receivers like that, and not lock them up, but they did a excellent job on those guys. I love to see that.
Yeah,
that secondary did a great job.
They did a number on them, and then they got pressure. Tua is not the most athletic guy.
Is there any shot the Jets make it?
I believe so. I believe the Jets. I believe they can. I think it depends on the quarterback.
So let's talk about theirs. They got Lions, not easy. Jags, Seahawks, and Dolphins. So manageable, but still tough. Like very tough schedule.
I'll say no.
I think they can win two of those four. I think they can win those two middle games. I think Detroit is riding high right now. And
I don't think that'll be enough, especially when you got.
No, I think they're gonna have to win 3 to make it. I don't see how they can make it. I no offense, Jets are out. Jets are out for me.
Does it have to do with the injury of the quarterback? Like
Mike White says he's playing, but no Breece Hall. They're banged up, man. They're putting together a really great season with a bunch of just next man up type players. Yeah. And I'm very impressed with them. Not take away from the Jets. I'm very impressed with what they've done with a bunch of next man up players. But it's just not. You got to go, I would say, at least 10. You either have to win your division or go 10-7. And I just don't see them going 3-1 down the stretch. It's not going to happen for the Jets. So I'm going to say, I can't decide, man. I really could see a shot that the Patriots actually replace the Dolphins. I would not be surprised at all.
Woo!
Chargers are in. And then it's going to come down to Miami or New England, whoever takes that,
I agree.
So you want to move on to the NFC then?
Yeah.
NFC.
All right. Obviously, we have the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. The Vikings are in based off, just their division. I think they have some crappy teams like the Bears in there. I don't know. You know who's in their division. 49ers. 49ers are one of the hottest teams right now. And then Cowboys, they're going to make it. So now we have Buccaneers, Commanders, Giants, and then on the bubble you have Seattle, Lions, Packers, Panthers, and maybe Falcons.
I
Which
don't think the
what
Panthers
the
make
heck, the Panthers? I mean, Steve Wilkes has, my goodness, turned that thing and turned it around
and
somehow.
they can host a home game just based off winning their division.
That's wild.
Man, being that they're 5-8, at this point, I can't give it to the Panthers. I don't feel confident in that.
No.
I feel more confident in the Lions making a run at it than Carolina. Um, my underdog here, or my overdog of the underdogs, well, I'll take the Lions to make a nice little stand and finish out the season strong.
I can see that. I can see
Yeah.
that. And I think the one thing that is gonna be tough to stop, depending on where they play, is that run game. Because Jamal Williams, I think he leads the league in rushing touchdowns. He got like 14, 15 touchdowns this season.
Yeah.
So, when you can lead the league in rushing, TDs, that means you run that ball. So our team's gonna be able to stop him and Swift. And then you got Chark, he's come back. And then you got Williams, the rookie out of Alabama. He made his debut last week. He's a flyer. He could take the top off. So
And Jared Goff has Super Bowl experience. Like,
yeah,
It's true.
It's not everyone's cup of tea, but dude can still play ball. Like, and I love St. Brown. Like, I really enjoy his game.
but it is interesting. They did get better after they traded Hawkinson to Minnesota.
And he's been balling out too up there. Like, he's been really having a good, yeah.
So, the question remains, why did you let him go, pretty much?
I do wonder if Jared Goff isn't really a tight end quarterback, though. Because, I mean, in LA, he wasn't really, he threw to his receivers. He didn't really throw to his tight ends a lot in LA.
That could be a thing.
Maybe like having too
That's a
many,
good point.
maybe you can have too many targets for a guy.
Yeah.
Like, listen, just some quarterbacks, if you give them too many targets, they cannot see them all.
Yeah.
But if you give them 3 targets, they're really good at getting it done. Like, okay, I can hit 2 guys. I can hit 3 guys. You start to have 4 guys crossing the field. Some quarterbacks can't do that, and they are really good quarterbacks. So you can have too many targets. I do believe that. And I'm not saying that definitively about Goff, but I'm just saying that it's a possibility. He had too many targets. But
it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the season plays out, though. And,
I'm going to go with one. I'm going to say Lions are in. I'm gonna say they're in. I'm gonna say Giants are out. I'm gonna say Packers miss by a hair. And disappointingly, I think
the Packers. Ironically enough, the Packers got to play Detroit again.
True, but I just having that 1-game lead, I think is gonna make a big difference over them. But Seahawks got to play the 49ers. It's not going to be easy for them. They lost 3 of the last 4. Right now they're already losing, so they're already going to be another game back. And then they got Chiefs, Jets, Rams. I know Jets and Rams are easy, but that Chiefs game, I'm counting that a loss. So I mean, I think it's going to be playing too much catch up after next week. And I don't think you're going to be able to make it with 9 wins unless you win your division like the Buccaneers. I think you're going to have to win 10 again in the NFC. So I'm going to say Seahawks out. I'm going to say Lions in, man. I really do. I think this team is going to get it done.
Well, we shall see.
Yeah, they got Jets, Panthers, Bears, Packers. They just got to win 3. And I know that's not easy to say, but like it's not hard looking at that schedule. So
I don't know. I think that Packer game and that Carolina game might not be a walk in the park because they're gonna be battling for playoff seedings too.
Yeah, this is true.
Right. I don't believe any of these are walk in the park. I maybe Chargers, but I mean, like I said, man, it's just. The Giants have won all 7 of their games by 1 score or less. That doesn't hold up. I just, and so we'll see. They play the Commanders this week. Could be a huge game-changing shift, but I think Commanders take this and hold it. Lions come in, take that final spot. And, the Packers put something on paper that they can be proud of going into next season, but just miss the playoffs. Give Aaron Rodgers that extra 2 to 3 week rest, that he usually has to play in the playoffs. And then, we'll see, man. They're talking about him going to the Colts already. I don't see it happening. I think he's a Packer, but they have to give that guy.
I don't see it happening either, but
he got to go get some weapons.
I mean, hey, they got some weapons over there in Indianapolis.
By the way, Panthers fans, I'd like to know if you guys actually think it was worth winning these games, or if you'd rather prefer the picks. But Steve Wilkes has really made turned that team around.
I think as far as Wilkes, he ain't worried about them picks, because if he can win, he keep his job. Yeah.
Right.
Now maybe the front office, they might be a little upset because it's like, bro, we trying to get number 1 overall pick. Yeah. But as a coach, it's like, bro, if I lose, I'm not gonna be here for the number 1 overall pick.
You on that hot seat, man.
Yeah, so it's like,
even if you are
instructed, if you do, damn if you don't, kind of thing.
Yeah, they clean the house with you too. They told you to tank, but they fired you for it.
So I'll go on a limb and say right now, Lions fans, Chargers fans, you are in. Celebrate. You are in the playoffs. Time to celebrate. I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna say Giants, sorry, you are out. It's over. Just wrap it up. And then Patriots, Dolphins, I think it's going to come down to that matchup. I really think that game right there is going to be the deciding factor. What are you guys, your thoughts, and then we can wrap on that.
I agree with the same thing.
I agree as well. I think it's gonna be. I'm just excited to see it, man. Just as a fan, I can't wait to see how the rest of this season unfolds. Things got a little funky a couple years. With the 17 games now, it makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. I'm over here writing stuff down, man, drawing lines and shit. We gonna see.
I like 17. I don't want to go to 18. I don't go to 18, but I like knowing whether your season was a losing season or a winning season. I don't like 8-8.
No 500.
Yeah, because 8-8, you're like, were we good? At least at 8-9 or 9-8, you're like, okay, we won more than we lost. We lost more than one. I like that. I don't want to go to 18. That's gonna annoy me again. I like the 17. I don't like the Packers and these other teams getting a bye week in week 14. I think they got to have a bye week earlier than that. That's
wild. That is wild.
But one last question to both of you. I'm curious what you guys think about this. There's a lot of people saying that there are currently no good teams, no great teams in the NFL right now. What do you think about that?
It's not. It's an any given Sunday kind of thing. I mean, any team can be had. We just saw with the Dolphins that high-flying offense could barely, do anything.
Yeah.
You take away 2 freak accident kind of plays, and you don't even score. And then, the thing like with the Chargers, you lose to you can't stop the Raiders, but you can stop the Dolphins. And then in the Raiders case, you can drop 27 on the Chargers, but you can't drop no more than, 16 on the Rams. Like, come on, man. The NFL is just very up and down.
Yeah, I agree with that. No great teams in the league right now. I had to think back to, when I was in middle school and you had those scary teams. You had the Patriots, of course,
And I think the Patriots are just a couple nice offensive weapons away. They tight end heavy, but it's like those receivers are just guys. They don't have a big name. Like if they could get just throwing a name out there, Odell or somebody, it could change fortune out there.
I think a move that could create one of the greatest teams of all time is if Aaron Rodgers went to the 49ers still. I know it's not going to happen, but if that happened.
I mean, you don't know because
No, I agree. Like on
I was
paper,
gonna say Jimmy G and Trey Lance might be out for next season with these injuries. So
yeah, but I'm just saying, and I'm not. They could still combust like the Lakers, whatever. I'm just saying like you can have too much talent sometimes as well. But I'm just saying like on paper, that would be one of the greatest teams of all time. Like if they, I mean, obviously Pat Mahomes went there, it'd be even better. But I'm just saying like actual guys who might actually have a potential to go there, like there, because honestly, that team is. I think Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs are a really good team because of Pat Mahomes, because of Kelsey and other things too. But they're really good. They're not great because you can see them in Dallas. They're very bend don't break teams. Like, they gave up 20 something to the Broncos last week, which no one has done all year. So like, they're very bend don't break. So is Dallas. But the 49ers, man, like that's a good, really, really, really good team. And Noah shot at Purdy, but like we don't know what he is yet. And so like they're one piece away, and it's a very important piece from being one of the greatest teams of all time. I truly believe. So like they're really that special.
I can see. I was telling someone the other day. I could see the Niners. They're one of them teams, man. They can take this show on the road and dominate. We saw them do it last year in the playoffs.
Doing it right now.
I could see a Niners Cincinnati kind of Super Bowl. I could also see a Eagle Buffalo Super Bowl. Depending on the thing about football, only got to beat you once. Only got to be better than you today.
That feels like a throwback game, like Niners Bengals. Like when you're not hearing LA Rams and
one of those odd matchups.
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
And I ain't gonna lie. I think I would like to see Philly secondary versus Cincinnati's receivers, or P. Ryan and Mixon versus Fred Warner in that defense. I would pay to see that. Although I don't have to, but I would.
It sounds like the NBA finals from a few years ago, like Bucks versus Suns. It's like what? It like catches you off guard. Like that would be. I would definitely tune in for that one.
Yeah.
Since the first, I mean, obviously,
and then it would become
like that one would be.
And then it would become: can Kyle Shanahan finally do it? Can Joe Burrow right his wrong from a year ago?
Like it sounds like Buccaneers versus Raiders or something. Like, you know what I mean? It sounds like one of those ones that just appears every so often that you don't.
But I don't think it'll be a blowout like that game, though.
No, but I'm just saying it has that feel to it. But
right.
No, Nico, you are writing a very good script for the NFL right now. They're watching you.
Well, I told people last year if the Chiefs beat Buffalo, they was gonna lose to Cincinnati, and that was before that game happened the way it did. And look what happened. Cincinnati still beat them and went to the Super Bowl. It's also on my Instagram if y'all think I'm lying.
Anytime he gets like this, Vaughn, you just got to remind him he ain't in the Hall of Fame. His head starts to get too big.
Hey, Vaughn.
Personal shots.
You see what happens when, you speak things into it. People always hate. They always hate. It's okay.
Don't be skipped now.
I'm gonna ride with my first pick just because, but I'm actually still gonna go Kansas City, Dallas. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I know, the Eagles, man, it has that Cubs feel from when the year before they won the World Series. It feels like it's a year too soon for the Eagles, doesn't it? Like it feels like they're so good, and yet something's missing. I don't know what it is.
But Washington showed you they can be had. Them corners.
Right, it feels, yeah.
They couldn't cover that night, and they gave up what 32 points.
Yeah,
because Jalen Hurts has not fumbled the ball away very often at all, but he has fumbled a lot, right? So like they just got a lot of lucky bounces, like and not that's great, and they're great because of it. But I'm just saying like those bounces don't always go that way. And that night there were 5 turnovers. And we saw what happened. They're able to lose. He's very great at taking care of the ball, sure, but like they pretend like let's not pretend like he doesn't fumble either. He does fumble a lot. They somehow seem to recover them. But I agree. They feel like they're a year away. It would be cool to see this team run the table, but I don't know, man. Like the Bills and the Chiefs are just there's something else. But yeah, man, I think it's gonna still be a fun year. But yeah, I don't know, man. There's not a team that screams like dominance to you yet, but we'll see.
Because everybody can be had.
Yeah, I agree with that. No great teams this year. I didn't hear that one, but I definitely agree with it.
Because the funny thing is, the Bills' kryptonite is Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes' kryptonite looks like it's going to be Cincinnati. And it could possibly, with a healthy team, be the Chargers.
Although two people did take out their kryptonite last week, as the Bengals took out the Browns and the Bucks took out the Saints. But so we'll see. Maybe this is a year for kryptonite being taken out. But
Yeah.
I think it's been a great show. Definitely, again, we'll try to not take the personal shots. Let us know what you think about these picks. But listen, I think it's time for some of y'all to already celebrate, even though you're not in yet. I think it's a lock. You're in. But yeah, we got a lot more shows coming up. And number one, comment. We want to hear the comments. Number two,
Yes.
share. 3, subscribe.
And like it helps our algorithm.
Yes, but we need them. We need them comments. Because we want to hear what you're saying. We need the subscribes, and then we need them shares, like for sure. But yeah, then the likes. But that'll do it for today. And definitely join us on the next one. We got a lot more shows to do. So we out.
These guys.
We're out of here.